Alright guys, here are the parts for the 95-inch big bore kit we're going to do on Greg's Deuce. So as usual, we're using the twin tech module, KB 10.5 to 1 compression pistons, SNSG carb, push rods, the whole cam change kit. We're going to port and polish some Screamin Eagle 103 heads. We're going to use some 635 cams. Alright, so we have everything already torn apart and we're getting ready to check the run out. So right now we're set at 0 and run out. Yeah, you're looking about 1.5 thousands. Not bad a run out. So we're gonna go ahead and start removing the cam bearings, install the cam bearings and the cam and stuff. Alright, so there we go. We got the cam bearings installed. You can see how they're both equally heights. So it's always best to use the correct tool. Make sure it goes in correctly and straight. Alright, so we got the cam bearings on, cams, did the cam in play. All that's good. Getting ready to put the cover on. Start with the lifters, lifter blocks. Then we'll start with the cylinders and pistons. Okay, so now we're going to get ready to install the KB pistons. And these are the piston pins. So what we're going to do is, as per our instructions, we need to have cylinder wall and cylinder pistons. You measure right here on this spot right there. 1.5 clearance, 1.5 thousandths. And then our ring in gap, it's not quite focusing. We need to have, according to our bore size, 22 or 27 thousandths. So we're going to check the in gap, and if we need to, we're going to have to file it down, give it more room. And the reason why you do that is the ring in gap closes as it gets more pressure. They close, and if it doesn't close, if it closes, then it's not good, then it doesn't do its job. So we need to make sure that whenever it gets pressure, that it doesn't close all the way. So that's the reason why we have to have the correct piston ring in gap. So let me get doing that and then on to the next step. All right, we got the pistons installed already, and right now we're currently checking piston to cylinder deck height. So basically this is our tool. So our piston is around 8 thousandths in the hole. So we would take that and do our formula, and then we know how much to deck our heads to get the compression that we are desiring, which is somewhere around 11 and a quarter. We want quite a bit of compression on this motor. So, and of course all the cams and everything are on installed already. So the next step would be to go ahead and start porting the heads. All right, so we have our heads already done, already been ported, polished, decked, so we can get the compression ratio that we want. So right now we're going to install the head and check our valve to piston clearance. What I normally do is I use a solid lifter for temporary, just to put it on here. We put on our push rods and we check, we turn the motor over, and I think with this it gives me the correct height of the cam or the lift of the cam, and this way we'll know exactly if the valve hits, and if it does, how much it's hitting. So what I'm going to do now is install the rocker box, rocker arms, push rods, adjust them and turn the motor over. Alright, so we just adjusted the push rods and turned the motor over. We did notice that the valve springs were hitting the rocker boxes, so we're going to have to machine that. So we're getting ready to take off the head. We already removed the head bolts. So you can see where the valve came and hit the clay. So the next thing, the intake valve barely hit, but the exhaust valve hit quite a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the clay and so I can do my measurements. So as you can see, we removed half of the clay, and you can see how we have enough room between where the valve hit the clay and the piston. So we should be okay with the lift of the cam that we have and the size of the pistons, and the way we have everything set up. Next thing is to remove the solid push rod, lifters, and install the SNS lifters. All right, so something else we also like to inspect, since we're running bigger, higher lift springs, because we're having a higher lift cam, we got to make sure that the spring doesn't not hit the rocker box. You can see right there where the spring is hitting the rocker box. So we then set them up on the milling machine and we mill them out and give it sufficient clearance. You can see right there where it has enough clearance. So now what we need to do is take this one off and machine it. But I just wanted to show you guys that it's very important to check. Little small things like that make a difference. Okay, you can see here where we machined it. This is the second rocker box. We used the milling machine to machine it. Next step is clean it up, wash it, and install it. All right, so we're moving along pretty good on this thing. Got everything buttoned up, heads and everything, rocker boxes. Lifters are adjusted, push rods are adjusted. So installing the SNSG carburetor, we're gonna do the backing plate and then do the exhaust, and then put the top rocker boxes, gas tank, and get ready to start it. So let me move on to the exhaust. Alright, so we just finished doing the dyno tuning on Greg's 95 kit, and we had originally started off on our first dyno run. We got 74 torque, 67 horses, and we did the motor work, and then we ended up doing the final tuning, and we got 95 torque, 99 horses, which we could get more horses because our rev limiter is hitting at 5,800, and you can see that the horsepower is still climbing. So we could probably end up with a couple more horses. We're gonna stop for now and put a little bit more braking miles on it and see where we can go from there. But overall, very happy. Bike sounds good, runs good. Get it down, run it on the highway for a little bit, see how it is, and then go from there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.